What would I call my hairstyle right now? I'm going to come up with something really long, like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'd call it pink soda GEMMA locks. I've put my hair in lots of tiny, tiny braids. It took me 5 days, 5 whole days to put my hair in the plaits because they were so small. But then I got like a packet of plastic needles for 99p from eBay, and I've been interlocking my hair. My hair cost 99p. I can't explain how proud I am of that. I feel really finished, I think. I feel complete. I feel like I can kind of go out and see anyone, you know. My mum always jokes that you should always look nice when you're on the street, you don't know who will see. And so I think I've had that in the back of my head. It's fine. You know, if I run into someone, I'm not going to like duck and roll behind a car, which is how you sometimes feel. So I feel confident, and I think especially, you know, when my hair is natural, there's something really, really liberating about not being afraid of rain. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing. So I think when my hair is kinky, I feel like myself. I feel really empowered. I feel prettier in a way because I know when I get a compliment, it's on me, if you know what I mean, not like, you know, 3 foot worth of yaki or something. So that's really nice. There's a lot of pressure on black women to try and look like something that they're not, and black hair is amazing. It's so versatile, it's so full of energy and body, and you can do so many things with it. You can define it, you can leave it as a massive cloud, you can braid it. And I just think, yeah, you know, just to kind of be an artist, number one, applying my creativity to my hair, and number two, being in the public sphere and being looked at. It's great if I can kind of use that, you know, for the power of good, you know, like, and have someone after the show, you know, a lot of the time just be like, you know, wow, what did you do to your hair? And, you know, and it feels good to think that maybe I'll inspire someone to kind of go home and try something, see what happens. So yeah. Sometimes you're with people who are like really Afrocentric, and then you feel kind of the pressure to be like, you know, Mama Africa. And then on the other side of it, sometimes you're with people who kind of are more in the Eurocentric standard, and then you feel pressured to look more exotic and straighten your hair or do something where it looks kind of curly. And I think I felt a lot of pressure, especially at my complexion as well, because people will project ideas of what they kind of think you should look like on either side, to either push you towards being more European or kind of push you towards being more African. The younger you are, the less of an idea you have of yourself. You're still figuring yourself out, so someone can come in and just like put lots of opinions in. I think I've been lucky in a way because I've had a lot of good conversations, and most of the energy that I've had within relationships has just been be yourself, you know, be yourself. Because actually I think sometimes a lot of the pressure comes from other women and from society. And I think if someone loves you, they just, you know, they kind of want you to be yourself and also not be afraid of sweat and rain and humidity. I don't know if I've used my hair to cover emotions, but I've definitely used my hair to cover perceived flaws in myself. I think there's a difference between trying to make the best out of yourself or feeling like there's something wrong with you and that you need to kind of conceal it somehow. So there's definitely been that. I definitely feel like your hair can carry a lot of emotion, because this is my second like set of locks. My first set, I cut them all off when I got pregnant. I just cut them off because I felt like it carried a lot. They can carry a lot of energy. But yeah, I think overall, I've actually been quite wary of using my hair to cover my face, because I see what that can I see how addictive that can be, you know. So I think there's always, as I said, that spiritual self-defense of just pulling yourself to the middle and being like, do you know what? You're good enough. You're good enough. You're good enough. You're good enough. Unfortunately, I think if you don't do that and you say I'm not good enough, then you always find like 100 people who will echo that sentiment for you and make you feel like crap. So I think it's really important to just try and bring yourself back to the middle. If I could speak to that little girl, that insecure little girl, I would say continue to play, continue to look within, find your spirituality, find your grounding, and look around you at the diversity of all the ways that people can be beautiful, and look at your own hair, look at your own texture, experiment with it, because there's so much beauty in it. And it's not just, as I said, it's not just the few dead hair cells. This is like representation of, you know, generations and generations and generations of people who made you and who went into you. All these genes, all these love affairs and marriages made you, and it's not an accident. So embrace that instead of kind of feeling ashamed, because that's a learned behavior. Do you know what I mean? I've never met a baby that's ashamed of themselves. All that stuff I said before about being secure, I don't know if I'm that secure. Because I just think, yeah, I don't know. I see it on particular women, especially ones with like a nice high forehead and the little heart-shaped face. It looks fierce, just amazing. But for myself, probably not. And I think, because I'm very patient and I have no problem dealing with my hair, it's never been that much of a push. You know what I mean? Because I think otherwise it's just like, oh, who wants to deal with it? But I'm fine. Like my hands are in my hair all day long, so it's fine. Yeah. I'm afraid of salons. I'm afraid of salons. I feel superior to salons. I look down upon them somewhat. I have a lot of emotions about them, which all kind of keep me at least at a kind of 20-yard distance from them. I went to a couple when I was, I used to go to the salon when I was, 11 or 12. And my stepmom decided to put a leisure curl on my head at that time. I think everyone had a leisure curl. But I didn't have good memories of it. It was just the stench of the chemicals and the kind of women and their chatter and their judgmental comments and them kind of picking through your hair going, oh, look at this, it's split end. Like it was the end of the world and what are you doing with this? Or, yeah, I hated it. I think there are probably wonderful, wonderful women who work in salons who are very talented. But that was not my first kind of feeling in those environments. And I also hate judgment. I like to just do what I want with my hair. So I think I've been to a salon probably once in the last 20 years or so. And it was kind of like, oh my God, what have you been doing with your hair? Have you been coloring it? Stop doing that. You can grow it out in a year and then never do it again. And I'm like, who are you? Like, this is my hair. It's my hair. Yeah, definitely. I think it's been actually a conscious effort to kind of practice spiritual and emotional self-defense, which I think is really important because we're getting all these messages all the time. You have to kind of decide, you know, how you're going to feel about yourself and what you're going to allow to kind of cloud your judgment on yourself. When I really embrace my texture, I feel much less insecure. I think if I'm trying to mimic having hair that's not mine, I naturally feel more insecure because I'm looking at other people and it's growing out of their head. So clearly they win, you know? Whereas this is my hair, no one else can do it. No one else has these little tiny ringlets. This is mine. So yeah, that's been empowering for me.